What if everything you've been told about being too sensitive is completely wrong? Maybe you've heard people say, "You take everything personally. You're too emotional. You overthink everything." After hearing those words enough times, it's easy to believe that something is wrong with you. But what if your sensitivity isn't a flaw at all? What if your brain is simply processing the world differently? Psychology has a fascinating answer. Scientists call it sensory processing sensitivity, and understanding it might completely change the way you see yourself. High sensitivity is a naturally occurring personality trait, first described by psychologist Dr. Elaine Aron. Research suggests that around 20 to 30% of people naturally have this trait. And here's something important. High sensitivity is not a mental illness. It's not a disorder. And it's not the same as anxiety or introversion, although some people may experience more than one of these. People with high sensitivity tend to notice subtle details that others may overlook. They often process experiences more deeply before responding. They respond more strongly to emotional situations, and they can become overstimulated more easily. Imagine two people attending the same wedding. One enjoys the music, conversations, and celebrations. The other notices the loud speakers, flashing lights, emotional conversations, the crowded room, and even the subtle tension between family members. Neither person is experiencing the event incorrectly. They're simply processing different amounts of information. So what actually happens inside the brain? Researchers have used brain imaging to better understand why some people experience the world differently. Some studies suggest that highly sensitive people may show greater activity in brain regions involved in attention, emotional awareness, empathy, and integrating information. This doesn't mean their brains are better than anyone else's. Instead, they appear to process information more deeply before responding. Psychologists call this depth of processing. It's one of the defining characteristics of high sensitivity. Rather than reacting immediately, highly sensitive people often spend more time thinking about context, consequences, and meaning. Research also suggests they may respond more strongly to emotional facial expressions and social cues. That may explain why they often notice subtle changes in another person's mood that other people are more likely to overlook. But processing more information also requires more mental energy. That's one reason why noisy environments, constant phone notifications, crowded places, or emotionally demanding situations can become exhausting. So is being highly sensitive a strength or a weakness? The answer is neither. Like most personality traits, it comes with both strengths and challenges. Research suggests that highly sensitive people are often deeply empathetic. They may be more creative, more thoughtful when making decisions, more attentive to details. And they often have a greater appreciation for art, music, and nature. At the same time, they may experience sensory overload more easily. They can feel emotionally drained after stressful situations, and they may need more time to recover after busy or chaotic days. But here's one of the most fascinating discoveries. Researchers have found that highly sensitive people are often more influenced by their environment than others. Psychologists call this differential susceptibility, sometimes discussed alongside vantage sensitivity. In difficult environments, highly sensitive people may struggle more than others. But in supportive environments, with healthy relationships, good sleep, effective coping strategies, and emotional support, they often benefit even more than people who are less sensitive. In other words, your environment matters, and understanding that can be incredibly empowering. If you recognize these characteristics in yourself, the goal isn't to become less sensitive. The goal is to learn how to work with your sensitivity instead of fighting against it. Research supports simple strategies like getting enough sleep, taking regular breaks from overwhelming environments, setting healthy boundaries, practicing mindfulness or relaxation techniques, and maintaining supportive relationships. These habits don't change who you are. They simply help your nervous system recover and function at its best. So if you've spent years believing you're simply too sensitive, maybe it's time to see yourself differently. You're not broken, you're not weak. Your brain simply tends to process many experiences more deeply before responding. And once you understand that, you can stop trying to become someone you're not and start building a life that works with the way your mind naturally functions. If you enjoy understanding how the human mind works, subscribe to Psychology Clicks, because every week we explore the science behind thoughts, emotions, relationships, and human behavior. The better you understand your mind, the better you understand yourself.